You got it? Perfect. Alright guys, I guess we'll start. Welcome everyone to episode 1 of our ST tutorial show here. Basically what we're going to do is cover kind of the core mechanics of how fighting games work and how to improve as a player. So what we're aiming to do is kind of take you guys from that newbie stage where you're just kind of rushing, mashing buttons, moving the stick around, doing random stuff, into actually knowing how to control your character and have a goal for what you want to do in a fighting game. Super echo on mic. Evan? Or that's what Evan says.
I took care of it. It should have disappeared by now.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna cover some core basics to get you guys from, the point of knowing absolutely nothing about fighting games to being at least somewhat competent as to what's going on in a match. So whether you guys are playing Super Turbo or any fighting game, or you're watching it, you'll understand what's going on and what each player is trying to accomplish. So the first lesson for today that we're gonna cover is something called controlling space, which is like the absolute core fundamental idea of how to win in a fighting game. Am I wrong?
No, that's the first thing you learn and the hardest thing to keep constant throughout.
Yeah, because, back in the early days, this may come as a shock, but Miller Time actually hated fighting games when she first saw it. She absolutely hated it. She didn't understand it. She thought it was a bunch of guys just mashing buttons, and I think one summer we just kind of sat down, went over Street Fighter 4. I taught her, okay, this is how fighting games are meant to be played. You don't hit a lot of random buttons. Everything is done for a purpose. And over time, she's kind of understand what we call the fundamentals of fighting games, which is like the basic skills you need to do well in any fighting game. So, for example, if you play basketball, for example, the core skills there are like dribbling, shooting, passing. Well, there's the same thing in kind of fighting games where there's a core mechanics of how to do anti-airs, how to utilize the fireball game, how to counter it, how to use your moves to attack the opponent, how to basically play as safe as possible while maximizing your advantage. So where we're going to go today is something called controlling space. So if we press start, Tanya. Alright, well, if you guys know me, you know that I love Guile, so I'll be using Guile as the first example, and Tanya, can you please pick Ken? That's my color, Ken. You can't steal my color. Oh, where's the, hold on. Let me, turn, oh, it's on. So what you guys seeing right now are a bunch of little weird boxes. Okay, it's not a glitch. This is, we've turned these on for a reason. So, if you play any fighting game at all, you're gonna have these boxes. So if you take away Guile and Ken's little sprite animations, all the game is a series of boxes and how they interact. Right? So, if you look at Guile Ken, you'll see that they have currently 2 boxes, blue and green. Okay, and what the green box is your throw box. So, if I'm in range, if I throw him, I'll land a throw. So if you see my green box interact with his, I'll throw him, and I'll throw. Success, right? The blue box is one of the important ones. Throw box, that's kind of stay fixed to wherever your character is, but the blue box is the hurt box, and that's the box that you'll take damage if you get hits. For example, Tanya, can you mash crouch short for me? Okay, so the blue box is a hurt box, so if he hits me in the blue box, that's where damage is going to happen. If you see, whenever Ken attacks, he has a red box, and the red box is your attacking box. So that's what's actually going on when you attack someone, is that you're basically putting out a red box, and hopefully if it hits the blue box, I take damage. So for right now, it's almost touching me, but not quite. I'm taking damage. But if I walk forward just half a step, the red box hits me, I take damage. So once you see the game is nothing but a series of boxes, you'll soon start to see kind of how the game determines whether or not you take damage or you don't take damage. So the first thing we're going to do is controlling space. So Guile is very good at controlling space. In fact, all of his matchups involve his ability to control space. And he largely relies on 2 things: Sonic Boom and his crouch forward. If you watch his crouch forward, it has insane range. Like, even the red hitbox is actually a little longer than his actual foot. It's fast, it has a lot of good range. That's his main weapon, his main means to do an attack. So let's say me and Tanya are brand new players. What are we going to do? Tanya, what would you do if you're a brand new player?
Mash crouch.
Exactly. I'm going to jump, I'm going to hit a lot of buttons, and hopefully things happen, right? That's what everyone does. And there's nothing wrong with that, that's when you play a fighting game, you're expected to fight, which means hitting a lot of buttons, doing a lot of buttons, doing a lot of attacks. But once you break down the game and just recognize that nothing but a series of boxes, you'll soon start to see that, you know, me jumping around, doing all these random attacks, there's no rhyme or reason, you know. We're both putting each other at risk because we're always in each other's attack zone, which means we're always in range to hit each other, right? And that's not good for business, because there's no way you can control when the other person hits you or when I hit them, you know? And when you introduce randomness in your game, you're basically putting a percentage on your game of whether or not you're going to win. So if I'm always here in his face, or he's in my face, it's basically, you know, I might win 50% of the time, who knows, right? Because we're not really controlled. But if you learn to start controlling space and knowing when to attack, when to defend, then you have a much better chance of winning. So, for example, yeah, still. Okay, so as opposed to doing random stuff, this is Guile's actually preferred positions right here. Would you agree, Tanya? This is my like key spot, because if Tanya hits crouch and hit any button. See that? Whatever she does, she can't hit me. So there's literally no way she can put a percentage on me because she can't even touch me right now. But me, if Tanya stops, I can hit her. So right there, immediately, you'll see that just by staying in a certain position at a certain range, and by controlling space, by doing absolutely nothing than staying at the range where I am at an advantage and she's not, I'm already technically winning. Because anything she does, I can counter it, or block it, and it's all good for business. So, what can she do? If I'm sending this range right here, right? She can't hit me. What are her options? Right? You can jump at me. Can you jump at me? Flash kick, no big deal. And then I'm back in the same position where I want to be. Let's see. What's a good move? Let's try spin kick. Spin kick goes over fireballs, right? Try it again. Oop. Go. What the hell? Flash kick, where are you? Hold on, guys, give me a second. My timing is so bad right now. Go.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
Why?
1, 2,
Go.
3.
Am I crazy?
1, 2, 3.
Why is Flash kick not coming
Try
out?
flash kick right now. There you go. You made it delay it anyway.
Go.
There you go. You're delayed.
So, if my execution isn't utter crap right now, I can counter everything she does. Can you uppercut for me? Whatever. See, whatever she does, I have an answer for. So once I'm in this range, I'm in complete control. Whatever she does, I should be able to anticipate what she's gonna do and counter it. And I'm not really even doing anything, right? Like, I'm just sitting here controlling space, and whatever you do, there's an answer for it. So, I mean... Sorry, guys. I know. Sorry, guys. Still recovering from the SCR virus, as you can tell.
So, I guess my question is, if I'm playing a character of level,
Yeah.
should I learn how far are my characters moving stuff?
That's the first thing. For example, if you know that Guile can outrange you with crouching forward, right? So what you should first do is kind of figure out what Ken's ranges are, because he has good attacks, but they're all very limited in range. Like his sweep is very good and all that stuff. And this kind of example can extend to everyone. For example, there are ranges where Ken completely dominates me, right? And those ranges are either very far away where Ken can use his fireball, because a fireball could look how much space that controls. You know, it's very fast. It covers the entire horizontal range, and Guile has to basically block or jump over it. And if I jump over it, Ken can just uppercut very cleanly, right? So that's one way in which Ken can use his fireball to control space. That's actually how Ryu and Ken do it for most of the matches. They rely on the fireball in conjunction with the other attacks.
You don't want to throw out certain moves unless it hits them, right? Like, you're not going to randomly just do...
Well, the thing is, if you do random, so the one thing is, you know, that's controlling space, you know, staying at a certain range and basically dominating you by positioning, which is kind of a concept that you kind of see in every sport ever, including chess, right? Because think about chess. What you want to do in chess is you don't want to attack, because that puts you at risk. What you want to do is control space with your units in order to make the other person make a risk and have to attack. That's Guile's game plan. But the other thing is also knowing how to control your character, because whenever you do any move in Street Fighter, you lose control of your character essentially, right, for a brief moment. So even if I do a move, if I do like a crouching kick, I have to wait until the entire move finishes before I can do something else. And same thing with jumping, which is why I always tell new players to not jump. Because if you think about it, when you jump, right, you cannot block, you can't do any special moves, right? And you always travel in the same kind of jump arc, this kind of, very linear, floaty arc. So when you do that, just jump at me, you can't do anything. You can jump at me with whatever attack you want, and I'll just counter it.
Sometimes trades are better.
Sometimes, but...
Ooh.
How do you know which trades are better, or is that for a different episode?
There's a kind of strategy to use with trading. For example, if Ken jumps at me with an attack. Nope. Oops.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
So, like, a very common strategy with Guile is whenever he does anti-airs, he wants to do this crouch fierce kind of punch right here. That's like one of his best anti-air moves. But usually it might trade with the opponent depending on what they do. But because it's like a heavy attack, it does more damage. So when you trade, you actually come out on top because you do more damage than the other person does. That's one strategy you can use with Guile, but yeah. As far as controlling your character goes, jumping is very risky because when you jump, you lose control of your character, which is why I always tell everyone do not jump. Because whenever you do, you open yourself to any counter that the other person wants to do to you, right? But if you think about it, jumping is also a very good way to control space because you control a lot of vertical space. You move forward a good distance. So a good time to use a jump attack would be to like punish a fireball, because fireball is actually a very good tool for controlling space, but there's like a lot of wind-up time. Like it takes time to charge up the fireball, it takes time to recover from the fireball. So although fireballs are very good, you have to realize that they also lose control of their character for a brief moment. So if Ken's just sitting away throwing fireballs at me, Ken, if you will, I can jump over and punish it very cleanly. See, and at that point they can't stop it because they're still in that kind of fireball animation. So although
recovering from the
recovering from the fireball. So although fireballs are very good at controlling space, there is a price to pay.
And the key is to know is how far away you have to be from your opponent in order to effectively use fireball.
Right, exactly. So I mean, if I stand at a range where I can see your fireball and react to it, then that's also a form of controlling space. Giving yourself enough space to react to the fireball and punishing it, which is one way to deal with a fireball spam. But see, even at that point, I can jump over the fireball and not attack, and I'm still at a good range because this is Guile's preferred range right here. Okay, where I can hit her, but she can't hit me. Yeah.
Where is that sweet spot?
Yeah, because you have
Well,
to
there are many
go
sweet
in
spots.
and getting hit.
Oh, it's about. Let's see, about right here.
You're like sort of halfway from each other.
Yeah, about here because like I showed them earlier, if she does any attack from here, any kind of low attack or any kind of long range attack, she can't touch me. Everything she does.
Notice how far you get pushed back by blocking a fireball.
Yeah.
And that's where the anticipation comes in. A lot of people want to jump because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting pushed back.
Right, I'm all the way back there, so I gotta jump back.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But in that position, in that time, it's important to know that you're not losing by blocking. Blocking is a great way to counter the damage. Yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage.
It's okay to block. There's nothing wrong with blocking.
So, if we were set, how you were set F2?
Let's show maybe an easier example, because that contained fireballs, that contained a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but let's try something simple with Honda Guile.
Sergey, do you want to jump in with Honda?
Sure, what do you just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Sure, go for it.
Sexy time.
Yeah.
So that was a brief example of like Guile versus Ken, and what Guile wants to do, what Ken wants to do, and you know, basically my ability to win is determined entirely by how well I can control space, or I can control exactly where Guile is in relation to Ken, and you know, from that kind of interplay, you can maximize your odds of winning. So instead of doing random stuff and just attacking each other, pressing buttons, you know, I'm staying very calm, very controlled, very collected, and I win because I basically outplay you. I take better position than you. I win because I have a better strategy, not because I hit buttons harder. So in this matchup, if you can see, Honda has a huge hitbox. But if you do a standing heavy kick, or heavy kick,
Right here, right?
the last one,
Okay.
yeah. If you watch how much range that thing has,
That's true. That is a very long range.
or his other attack, is it back roundhouse, Tanya?
Yeah,
There you go, that one.
Oh, you have to press back.
Yeah. Look how much range that thing has, you know? It does a very good job of reaching me. And the best thing is if it hits me, I get knocked down.
And the hitbox is much further out from the hurt box.
Exactly. And that's kind of what determines what we call priority in the game. So, like, if you ever wonder why some attacks trade, why some attacks beat other attacks, that's why. It's because the hitbox is a little wider than the hurtbox. So, once you're able to see all these boxes, you kind of make sense of why fighting games work. It's nothing but a series of boxes hitting each other. This is for all fighting games.
Like, there is no hurt box at all with this one.
Exactly, which is why it's such a good anti-air, because if they jump attack and you're at a right range, you do stand jab, it'll beat everything.
Whereas this one, what is this, fierce?
Strong?
Strong.
Yeah, the medium punch,
Yeah,
yeah.
you get that hurt box on top of your head.
Yeah, so you can get kicked in the head.
Right.
So it doesn't make it a very good anti-air. So
And
even
fierce really sucks.
Yeah, it's crap. Because all you see is blue box, like a little red box, so it's not really a very useful attack. But see, even in messing around in this kind of thing, you can kind of instinctively know which is a good attack, which is a bad attack.
Yeah,
you know?
For what purpose?
Yeah, exactly. So this is a very good training tool right here. Same with you know, Zangief's crouching jab. It's all red box right there. Which is why this attack beats out Honda's headbutts and hands. Because if you do hands or anything like that, any special move, can you try doing hands? See, he has a lot of random boxes. It's all red, blue, all that stuff. But it's interesting because you can actually see the relationship of how fighting games work just by watching the boxes alone. You know?
Right.
You're like, huh, interesting. So I mean, this matchup here is very, very linear. All you're doing is controlling space. You know, Honda's a beast at controlling space right in front of him. As you can tell, you know, you have your standing kick, you have your strong attack, you have your headbutt. He's a monster at controlling space, which is why he beats out most characters that don't have a fireball.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? But of course, crouch jab beats out your headbutt and all that, so you have to work around that.
That one sucks.
Yeah, it's a good attack, but yeah, it has limited uses.
And what's the difference between the green and the blue?
The green is a throw box, so example, if I'm here, I can't throw you, but if I walk a little forward, I can throw you.
Oh wow!
So from there, you can see that my range is actually a little bigger than yours, right?
But I thought Zangief had a huge throw box.
He does if he does his SPD. See that? See how wide that thing goes?
Oh, so now that the blue box also determines your range, or was there a? Oh yes.
Ooh. No.
So does blue box affect your range?
I mean, the blue box. Well, it's hard to see, but he actually has an actual range where he moves out. I don't know why it's not showing up. It's usually like a yellow box, but I guess this displayer doesn't show it.
Oh, maybe it doesn't have the yellow box.
Yeah, because the blue is just me moving forward and trying to grab you, which you can hit. But if I'm in range, I'll grab it.
Right, clearly.
But I don't know why it's not showing the thing.
I thought I saw something yellow there. What was it? This one?
Oh, sweeps? Yeah, the standing one has a lot more range, if you see.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's actually a very good tool. So like, if I'm trying to fight you, you can just sweep and I get knocked down. I can't really do much about it.
Right. Whereas this guy, it takes too long.
It's slow, doesn't have much range, so not a lot of people use it. But it does a lot of damage, so that's kind of the trade-off. That move actually, that crouching heavy kick.
Use this.
Yeah, that's one of Honda's best tools.
You've been holding out on me.
No, man, I'm teaching you slowly.
Both of you guys have been holding out on me. Wow.
I think you just, this is the point where all the newbies, including you, they're just opening your eyes. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah, you're like,
There's
huh?
more I don't know about.
Yeah, the rabbit hole goes deeper. See?
So we haven't been holding out, and there's just so much to tell now.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing how big it is.
So you have that attack, but Zangief also has this attack, and if you see, it actually has pretty good range also, and has a very good hitbox. So.
And it goes way out.
Yeah, exactly. So now it becomes okay. Well, I'm gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Let's see who wins. See, and from there you can see how important controlling space is, and why Honda wins so many fights that don't involve a fireball. Because look at that. I mean, look how much space you can control with that standing kick, or even like if you do hands. There's there's not much. Yeah, exactly. I really can't do much. Like the best thing I can do is just try to outpoke you on the ground game, and that's all I can do really. Look at that. See, just by doing nothing, by standing at a certain range.
I can use this one as I'm charging.
Exactly, and you can do hands while charging. So if you hold down, back, and do counts, you still have headbutt. Once you let go, you can do a headbutt.
Really?
Yeah. Do hands and then stop and headbutt. Oh, I mean it doesn't work. You hold down, back, and just do hands and then do headbutt. See.
Oh.
You can bust slam too. Anything you want. You just have to learn how to control hands so you know when exactly you stop. So you can do a headbutt or bust slam.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, all that together. I mean, look how mobile Honda is, and he's a defensive tank. If I jump at you, you can just headbutt or whatever you want to do to me. Like my only hope is just to outplay you as a player. As a matchup, it's a pretty bad matchup. Honda wins this pretty soundly. Oh.
There I go jumping again.
So, Sergey, I have a question for you. What do you think your range against Zangief should it be?
My range?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think your space unit should be to win this match against Zangief?
No more than like this would be the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly. See.
Right? Just where I have him in range.
Yeah. See.
Perfect.
And then that allows me to move forward, and it keeps me away from his that low kick that you do.
Exactly. So now you're reaching the point where you're realizing that you no longer have to just jump at me and hit buttons. You just stand there, and you can win. And you can win this matchup just very easily. Often knowing 3 basic tools. That standing sweep. You do hands, whatever you do.
Just be careful of that butt slam because you got
See.
close to be able to throw you that.
See that? Anything you do, I have to work so much harder to counter it.
Granted, he's not a brilliant Zangief.
Excuse. It's a rough matchup, Tanya. Even Snake Eyes, a very good Zangief player, doesn't even pick this matchup against you anymore.
Well, he's not on pad either, so that's good.
See.
Right?
And you can win the matchup just by doing that. That's all I can do. Yeah, exactly.
So be lame and do that and win. Nice, keeping him away, perfect.
See, you don't even know the matchup that well, but you're already doing very, very well against me because you know how to control space. You don't have to jump at me anymore. You don't have to do bust slams. You just do hands, man. You throw hands at me and feet and that, dude. I can't do anything,
Ooh, careful of that.
It's getting really difficult to beat you. I feel like with all the energy that I'm taking out of you, I should know better.
Man.
So, based on this, Honda controls all the space in front of him, but there's other characters that control other spaces. So, this sounds like a test for you, Sergey.
No, that's good.
Who do you think would control the most space in this whole game? Kind of on your knowledge so far, that's based on this mechanic.
Vega?
Vega, definitely.
Vega's very good.
And Dalton.
Oh, Dawson, just based upon the
Yeah.
enormous...
Because
I
all
wait till he does
Dawson is.
hitboxes.
Let's
Well,
do
let's
it.
go, man.
Yeah.
See,